Hey, this is Marshall Bowerman, just recording my video for Lab 4. Still doing the bedroom objects here, and I had done a little bit initially with one of the first labs, but with the better practice that I've been having, this has been coming a lot easier. So, wall light, for instance, this took basically a few minutes to get that done. Really easy after what we've been practicing. Here's the book. In class, Marty had made sure to express how important it was to make sure the top and bottom cover pieces were grouped together as one so that you can do the bridge properly. So that worked out well. And then here's the pages. I do a bit more work with them later once I do the shading, because I don't I didn't bevel the sides of them at first, so it's hard to see that they're pages right now. It just looks like the book is kind of filled, but I do that later with this. And then thankfully my mouse has been behaving more so that I can actually get the pivot in the place that I need it to. But yeah, there's book one, book two, and book three. And I just move them over to the side for now. I'll probably put my bed and ladder into this at another point. But now I just wanted to make the objects for this assignment. Here's the rug, which the lab actually. Let me back up. The bedroom actually doesn't have a pattern rug like this. I feel like it's probably still fine. It's more again just for the practice, be able to do it with the beveling in there. So took a quick break for dinner. That's why I hop back to OBS. But anyway, here's where I put some of the shading in for the different objects so far. So for the wall light, I have a color that I choose as glass, and I think I use that same one for the uh, flashlight, which I talk about later. I do make sure to choose a shader for the pages. It's different. Um, and again, right now it's hard to see the difference in the pages, so I'll get back to those in just a minute. I feel like this room is probably more of a boys' room, so I do start with the pinks here, but I'm like, that doesn't really feel like it'll fit too well. So I change to some blues. There we go. And then here's where I try to do a bit more work with the pages, doing beveling there. Eventually, I get that to work out so I can bevel them all at once. Um, I figured there was some way to do a special way to, like the duplicate special that Marty's been showing us with things. So I undo a lot of what I try to individually and managed to do this year so that they all get uniformly transformed the way I needed to. So yeah, it should look better now especially once it's fully rendered. Here's a flashlight. This is the part that definitely took me the most, but I didn't feel like I struggled. I just wanted to be precise with how I did it. And then when it comes to the bulb itself, I do something a little bit different than what Marty described in the video and in class. Um, but this part here, I followed the video pretty spot on. So here I get yeah, put the rings in, push it in, and I just didn't like the feel of how it could kind of curve back out, even if I were to use a different color for the um, for the bulb. So what I end up doing, um, you'll see that in a second here. Oh, this is me doing getting the kind of bulbous part of the flashlight out. So, all right, so for this, I end up actually just taking the middle part out and then putting in a whole new sphere, which hopefully will render okay once the project is actually, being rendered. Um, but I use the same glass shader that I used for the wall light, and then there wasn't really a color for the flashlight besides just white. So as a kid, I used to have a big red flashlight with a white switch, so that's what I'm going with here. Um, so yeah, took me a second to remember how to do it. Uh, got the right properties in there, put in the extra divisions. Then yeah, there. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really have problems with this one. It's just time consuming because of the details on it. Um, oh, and I'm realizing now that I didn't bevel the edges of the flashlight, so I'll do that before I turn it in. But yeah, I'll take care of that. But yeah, here's the switch for it. Pretty straightforward once you realize everything else is more or less the same process. So white switch. Um, I end up pulling the edges inward a bit more so that it doesn't have any missing parts. Yeah,